Hey everybody, welcome to the Cedarshed factory. Today we're going to walk you through installing the metal roof option on the ridge porch shed for a cedar shed. We have a mock-up shed here. What we've done is we've installed the trim, the corner boards, the porch, and the top plates. Now we're going to do the fascia. So what we're doing is we're using a framing square to get the plane on the strapping. So Jason, if you could just slide that down and then show them how you're, okay, there's the height there and he's sliding that up. It's a 42-inch fascia like shown in the manual. It ends right on the joint here of the roof panel. So this is where we're gonna start it. That's how we know our starting point is. The manual shows it's a 1x4 42-inch and it lines up right here with the joint of the rafter. Okay, we're going to be walking on there, so you could tack it with some screws, but we're going to put a 2-inch screw in there because we're going to be going up there. We want it a little more secure. Just checking the plane here to get the right height to match it up, so that way it's a smooth fit when we lay the metal on top. It's all the same plane. A straight edge works as well. You could use a board, level. We're using a framing square, but you just need something that's a straight edge. After that, this is a 12-foot shed, so if you had a 12x14, you'd be using this piece next, the 1x4 17.5. If you have a wider size, just check your manual, it'll show you. The fascias all end on the joints of the roof panel. They're all the same size, so it makes it a little bit easier to line them up. So again here, he's just going to match the other edge of the board. Jason's getting the height here again with the framing square and the straight edge. He's just keeping it just a hair below. Better to have it a hair below than a hair above and have the metal resting on it, sticking up. One last piece of 42-inch here. And there we go. We got step one complete. We got the fascia on. So before doing these steps, you need to install the corner boards before the porch panels. If you have a 12-inch extension trim, you may have to cut it to fit the top piece. You can put on the top or bottom. Then you can put on the panels here, the porch panels, and we did the top plates. After that, now we did the fascia, which was step one of the metal roof ridge porch. Now we're going to go to step two. Step two is installing the gable panels for the porch. This is gable wall 13. This is what they look like. In the kit, this extra piece gets installed on top after. So basically, you just have to line the bird's mouth out up to the edge of your top plate here. That's how we determine its positioning.
You good, Jay?
Yep.
Good?
Yep.
Hooking on the tail there, the same as the other side.
Okay.
Using the 3-inch screws, you can use the 3-inch gold screws here provided in the kit. And that is step 2, installing the gables. Step 3, installing the porch roof panels. We've laid them out the way they go. The sizes are in the manual with the widths. The ones that start on the gable ends here are overhang panels. You can see over here the 1x4 is sitting past. This is going to sit on top and go past here. So this is the right side here, and you'll have the left side here. The porch panels already have a 1x4 fascia installed. That's how you know they're for the porch and not for the gable shed. Okay, we're going to have Kevin and Jason come here again and assist us on step 3. Well, we're going to start with one of the gable ends first. This is easiest with 2 people. So Jason's going to lift from the outside, and it slides right beside the gable rafter. Show you how these are going to fit together side by side. If it's not fitting tight, you can use a C-clamp to suck it in. Kevin is screwing the rafter from the outside into the gable rafter, securing it. So Kevin's gonna level over here to get his height on the bottom. It's best if you can to put a 3-inch raft, 3-inch screw on an angle to go into the rafter tail over here. This will add a lot more strength than nailing it just screwing just through the fascia board. So wherever there's a rafter here, you put one on at an angle coming in. And that's going to go into the rafter tail of the shed. Another way we chose to level this across, you can also measure off your other board here. You just want to keep a parallel measurement the whole way. Next, we're going to use one of the sandwich panels. This is the 24-inch wide one. You could also put the 46.5-inch wide one first. It doesn't matter. They're both sandwich panels. This one just slides up right beside the other one. Same thing, if the rafters aren't fitting securely and tightly, you can clamp them together and put a 3-inch screw and it'll suck them nice and tight, making for a smoother, tighter fit. Okay. We're going to put on the 46.5-inch wide.
We gotta come back and do that.
Screwing the two roof panels together with 3-inch screws, 3-inch yellow screws, including in the kit. Leveling across. Getting the angle into the tail of the shed rafter to add more strength using a 3-inch screw. And finally, the last ridge porch panel, the gable. Again, the rafter sits beside the gable rafter and slides right up. Push the panels up until the rafter bird's mouths are tight to the top plate. And attach it together to the existing panel. Fasten it with 3-inch gold screws to the existing panels and fasten it through to the gable as well. Putting another 3-inch screw on angle to the rafter tail of the shed. You can see a bit of a unique angle here of how it's all coming together. Yes, you can put a toenail on an angle through the top plate into the rafters here to secure. Yeah, use a 3-inch gold screw. And you can go along the whole shed and put a toenail into every rafter through the top plate. Step 4, lay the metal roof panels on the ground. So to determine the overall width, we have to figure out the overlap of the ribbing of the panels. So in order, thanks Jason. Jason's going to show you, we want to overlap. And in order to determine that, it's cut to length this way, but we have to figure out the width. So what we're doing is we're measuring here. All the way to the other end.
We have 154.5.
154. Now we want to add a little bit of overhang on each end for aesthetics. It just looks a little bit better and a bit better for water. So we're going to overlap these panels and get it as close as we can to our measurements. So what were we, Kevin?
154.5 up there. We're going to be 158.5.
So 158. We added just over 2 inches, 2.5 inches of overhang on each side. So now what we're going to do is, how are we going to identify all the overlaps? Are we going to mark it with a pen?
Yeah, we can mark it.
Just taking a felt pen here, just so when we know where the panels line up. 5, installing the porch metal roof panels now. So start on one end and work your way over, either the left or the right. We're going to start on the right. It's very important to get your first piece square. So if your first piece is crooked, it'll travel and carry the whole way. So we're going to start by getting our overlap, which we measured before. We figured we need 2 1/4 on each end. Now, this is very important for the starting point. We're going to start the first piece on the top edge of the roof strapping of the porch panel. It's very important that you don't start it further because you need your gable, 1x4 gable fascias to come in after, and they fit in nicely right at this spot. Just to reiterate, start your metal roof panel on the edge of your roof strapping of the porch roof panel. How many inches down is that from the fascia, Kevin? 2 1/8?
Oh, yeah, this is 2 1/8 as of right now.
2 1/8 to the edge. So we're going to go to the other end. And we want to measure the 2 1/8 over here. Sorry, let me try to get you a better vantage point.
Up at 16. Oh, and then down. Right there. Oh, up a little.
What we're doing is making sure this measurement is parallel. We want it to be the same the whole way. If it's not, then the sheet is crooked. So we're following this ridge line here. Okay, it's nice and straight here. So make sure when you install your shed that you got your bird's mouth, because if you're snaking or waving down, it's going to make it harder to install your porch here. You'll have to hide things and cheat things. Whereas if you can get everything sucked nice and tight and your bird's mouth tight, use the clamp if you need to, you'll have a nice straight line to follow. We're just going to tack this because we want to make sure everything fits square. If we screw off the whole sheet and go all the way to the end and get to the end and realize it's out of square, then we have to take everything apart. So I think it's best to dry fit. Just tack it in with a couple screws in the corners and work your way down. Once you know what fits, you can come add caulking in the joints, which we included in the package, and screw the panel off. So we're going to start with the second piece here after Kevin tacks it in. We're going to overlap the ribbing. On the previous step, we laid it on the floor and we marked it with a marker so we know where our overlap is. We line up our marks with the felt and we tack it in. Once again, Kevin's getting that same measurement of 2 1/8. Yours might be slightly different. It's important to check on your build. Tacks the first corner. Now we're going to go to the far corner and we want to make sure that that's the same measurement again. Trusting the 1x4 strapping, it may be off a little bit. Going off the fascia here is just a little straighter. Another option is you could snap a line. If you have carpenter tools, you could measure from the bottom. Use the rafter, not the strapping. Measure to the top, go to the other end and get another point, and then you can snap a straight line. Just remember, 2 points make a straight line, not 3. If you measure in the middle, it could be crooked. But just, if you're going to do the chalk line, measure off the rafter tail, not the strapping. You can snap a line here and have a straight line to follow. Our ridge line here is pretty darn straight, so we're just going to go off of that. Measuring our 2 1/8 gap, lining it up with the edge of the last sheet. going to come to this edge again. Same step as last panel. Make sure we're running parallel. Jason's just adjusting it down here. You can double check on this end, but it's best to measure at the top here and use this as your measuring point. If you use the rafter tails, I don't think it's as accurate. It's best to go off this fascia line. As long as your fascia is straight from your shed. If you couldn't get that installed straight, then you may want to consider the snapping a chalk line if you have one available, or a carpenter helping you. But we understand that not all of you are carpenters or have chalk lines, so we're trying to show you a way to make it square without snapping a line. And we're following our fascia here, measuring in between to make sure we're parallel and square.
Is that okay? Depth is a flashlight. Up to 16. Oh, too much down. Just a little. No, back up again. Tap, tap. That one? Yeah, just another six, up to 16. A little more. About there. Yep, good.
Misfire. Okay, we're on to our last sheet. Take your time on this part. It's important that you get this on here square. If you find you get yourself to the end crooked, figure out where you went wrong. Check for measurements, check for parallels, check one side, check the other, figure out where it's going crooked, and readjust. That's why we're just tacking it. This looks like this is going to fit pretty good. But take your time on this step. Get this straight, because this is our shed roof is going to tie in here, so this is important to get this part set. This is why we're making a video for you guys. Okay.
Down a little bit. Are you square? Up? Yeah. Oh, too much. Up, up, up. Right there. Just measure. But you could go up just a little more. Check your edge here. No, you got it.
We're just double checking how we finished here. Looks pretty close. Might be out slightly, but I think it's pretty darn close where it's pretty hard to tell.
Which way do you gotta go?
The top way's got to come out, I think.
Top's gonna come out.
So what? There we go. We're just gonna pull it and stretch a bit. There's a bit of play, reflects in the metal. Now we have a nice parallel measurement the whole way here. And that is step 5. We'll be back to step 6. Just a reminder, after you've tacked it off and everything is fitting square, you want to go to the joints here, and we're going to add caulking before we screw this off. This is going to waterproof this joint, adding caulking, and then you can screw off the panel. Step 7, installing the metal roof panels on the shed. So we're going to start by laying the panel up there. and matching the ribbing down here. So how far down are we overlapping here? So how does the customer know where to set? So they're gonna wanna come down, how many inches?
2 1/8.
2 1/8 inches from the top sheet here, down 2 1/8. This is where your first sheet is gonna start this way, okay? Now, we just tacked it in, and as you can see, we're just matching here the ribbing of the metal, okay? We're just lining it all up. There is gonna be, in a metal roof for a ridge porch, there'll be 3 metal sizes, okay? You'll have your shorter one on the porch, your second longest will be on the other side of the shed here, you'll have to pretend, and this third will be your longest. This side here is slightly longer, and the reason is we need this overlap on the porch here, okay? So this is what it's gonna look like. We have the foam piece here. These guys are just checking here for square, so they're gonna measure the bottom. And they're gonna go up to the top here and get the parallel measurement. Okay, panel is sitting square. Do you want to check it this way too? Does that 2 1/8 measurement work out?
This, well, off the fascia board here, this is 4 1/2 now.
And what was it back here on this side? The same?
The overlap is 2 1/8, but off the fascia board to the front of the panel, we've got 4 1/2.
So that's square there as well too.
Yeah,
So it's both ways. It's just good to reference. You check this way and that way. So if this sits up a bit, that's okay. When you put the screws in, it'll suck it down. As you can see, like that. It's just sitting on the foam tape right now, but once you put the screws in the valley, it'll suck it down tight. What we're gonna do, we're just tagging this on here for instructional purposes. You're gonna wanna put some caulking here all along this seam too before you screw it all off. But once again, I think it's good to dry fit. Make sure you got everything fitting square. It might start good and we get to the end and we realize we're out a bit, and then we'd have to undo everything. This way, we tag it, we make sure, put some screws in the 4 corners, and once it's all fit, we can come back, pop a couple screws off, put the caulking in, and away we go. It's a little extra work, but that way if there's any misalignment, it's just a quick, simple, easy fix versus having the caulking and hundreds of screws to pull. Work smarter, not harder. You know, there's other ways to do this as well, like we snap the line here as you can see, so you can snap a line as well and follow that. You just want a straight line, but I tried to show you a couple ways of measuring parallel angles too. If you don't have a chalk line, it can be done without as well, but a chalk line is ideal. 2 points, 1 on each end, snap a line to get a nice straight line. So once again, Kevin's checking that measurement off the fascia to make sure it's the same. Because we used our fascia as our, instead of a chalk line, we used our fascia that was a straight line. That only works if your fascia is installed straight.
Did you just measure side to side again?
If your peak's going to be a bit below there and showing, that's okay. There's a ridge cap that gets stalled after and covers all that. So the more important thing here is that we get the porch covered here in an overlap, because this is a possible area of leakage. So we want to make sure we get this covered, which is why we're working from the straight line on the bottom versus the ridge. On the other side, you can work off the ridge. On the top is fine. With the case with a porch, we're working off the porch. Oh. We're gonna work our way down. 2-person. Safety first and teamwork. It will scratch, so be a little more careful than that if you can. We're just gonna, our panels are the same size, so we're just matching our overlap from our porch, lining it up. Kevin's just working on matching up that seam. Measuring again, keeping it parallel and square. Loosening that one off so he's got a bit of play and he can shuffle it. Good. Okay, we'll check the bottom measurement, check the top. Bang on, moving down nice and square. Measuring where the strapping is. So a reminder for the shed to make sure that you have all your gussets installed with lots of screws before climbing on the roof.
There you go.
You may want to take note and measurement of where your strapping is for all your different rows of screws after. Not a bad idea to have a little Sharpie or pen that you can scribe.
Nope, he's next now.
On to the final shed panel. Oh, easy. lines up here,
Want to get your side to side.
which is great. So all those measurements paid off, making sure it was staying square. 2 1/8. Actually looks pretty good from here. So now that we know that it's all square, we can put the caulking at the joint here, all along the ridge where it meets, and you can screw it off. As I mentioned, you might want to take measurements of all the strapping for screw placement, every row. But this is essentially how you would install a metal roof from Cedarshed on a ridge porch shed kit. That's it for our tutorial today. Please subscribe and like the video, and stay tuned as we upload some more instruction videos. Thanks for watching.